Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to License to View, a generally weekly podcast about pop culture, movies, TV shows, everything else that we've been checking out. I'm one of your hosts, Jason. With me, as always, for the past 5 years or so, is my co-host. What's going on, Zach?
Not much, man. Just excited to get into some. We got a packed show today. We've got a lot of shit to get into.
We got a lot of stuff going on, and we decided to kind of reach in and expand on what we're covering just for a little bit, see how we feel about it, because we realize that we talk about a lot of different things, generally speaking, on the podcast, and
we end up going into more stuff than just movies most of the time, anyways. So
exactly. So we thought we cover a little bit of other things, whether that's some other comic stuff, some video game stuff, other movie stuff in general. Obviously, see how everything's what's catching our attention at the time. We got to pack a list because there's a lot of stuff going on in the geek world.
A lot of stuff leading up to one of the biggest, or it used to be. I don't know how big it is anymore. Is it actually still that big? But E3's coming up next week. But
I don't think it matters anymore, really, because of the fact that it matters that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing where it's like, leading up to this, it's like, what is it? I don't think Sony's doing anything this year.
Yep.
Nintendo does their Nintendo Directs, which are like their own thing. So like they don't even need to do like anything like E3. And then, it's more for like the smaller developers. I guess there's still developers like Ubisoft and Respawn and those guys. Like they all go and like show off some of their games, but there's no like. It's not like how it used to be, where it was all just like Microsoft and PlayStation and Nintendo the whole time. Now it's just like, it's really just for like developers. I don't know. I mean, you still get some game reveals there, but I just don't feel like it's as big as it used to be.
Well, I feel like in the past week or so, they've dropped just.
They've been a bunch of stuff dropping. Yeah.
Well, first,
stuff that I think would normally not be released till E3 was dropping super early. Like freaking the new Call of Duty trailer was dropped like 2 weeks ago. Like
exactly.
That's something that normally would be like main stage of like Microsoft or some shit like that.
Right.
And it'll drop like just randomly out of the blue. Like woke up on a Tuesday morning and there's a new Call of Duty.
Yeah, they woke up like this.
Yeah. Always.
Well, before we get to the news and the stuff like that, we're going to go ahead and talk about our first subject topic of the podcast, which is what we've been up to, what we've been checking out, things like that. Zach, what you been checking out, man? You been reading anything, playing anything?
So, I've got a few things that I can remember. I saw a little bit of movies, not too much. I watched John Wick 3, obviously. Had to do it for the boy. I loved it. Not as much as the first one, but I definitely liked it more than the second one. Because I had to, because I had my boys from the raid in there. Both of them. That mini boss battle leading up to the main Asian dude was like, I was like, these are the guys from the raid. Both of them, both the main villains from Raid 1 and Raid 2 are like his like mini boss battle. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. It was great. I didn't think we'd be getting a number 4. And when I saw the news before I saw it, I was like, oh no, they can't be doing this. Can't be keep milking this. And then the third one ended and I was like, I'm excited for number 4 now. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Just hasn't had the time to go to the theater and see it. I'm excited for it, but it's clear that they're gonna milk this till end of time.
I really wanted them to like cut it off in like a nice like 3 trilogy. Like, all right, this is the third one. Wrap the clean story up nice and neatly. But clearly they have a vision. Like they're not just milking it. Like he has some sort of story vision of what he wants to see going forward, at least. So, if he's got more stories to tell with this character, I'm down for it because I love everything to do with John Wick. So,
yeah, and it's good to have movies that don't matter.
Yeah,
that they're important. Not every movie has to have like a thing or a message or a whatever the fuck like it doesn't have to be like not every movie. Like example. I saw Endgame twice. I mentioned it last podcast. I saw it in IMAX. Or I think I told you that in person. We hung out last week.
Yeah. I think you said you saw it in like IMAX 3D, didn't you?
No, no 3D, just regular IMAX.
Okay,
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember if we didn't do a podcast last week because we were hanging out in person.
And that shit, yeah.
Right. Or week before that, whatever the weekend was. Was it last week? Week before that.
2 weeks ago was when I visited in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago we were gonna do a podcast. We didn't because we were hanging out in person. And this past weekend I was busy. You were busy. All that stuff. So
yeah.
It's good to have a movie like the Schwarzenegger things that don't need to have messages. It's just person kills people. That's it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious is a perfect example. That's why those movies, Transformers, that's why they do so well, because I feel like you don't have to go to a theater and expect to be lectured or told something. You just get to see big robots.
You don't have to think about those movies. You can just go in, you enjoy whatever story they have, even if it's like threadbare. And for some of those things, some of it's not even about the story. It's just about the spectacle of the film in and of itself.
Exactly. And you don't need to, not saying that messages aren't great to have in a movie, because we love deep, realistic, Oscar baity movies. But there's a reason why John Wick is so good, because John Wick's the whole story. The crutch of the movie is that it's a man getting revenge because his wife's dead, but also because they killed his dog, which is because he's mad that his wife's dead. And that's the whole movie.
He killed his dog, which was the stand-in for his wife, and so he killed his wife basically, and so he's going to kill you.
Right. It's very similar to that Thor Ragnarok scene where, before he goes fight the Hulk in the Coliseum, he's talking to Korg about Mjolnir being destroyed, and Korg's like, "Oh, so the hammer pulls you off, right?" And then he goes, "Oh, well." So what you're telling me is pretty much that this hammer represents something else that is destroyed. It's like a part of you being like a family member being destroyed. And Thor's like, yeah, kind of. It's the same thing. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it for sure.
Yeah, no, it's really, really good. And I definitely agree with, not every movie needs to have like some deeper message or anything like that, which leads me into the next movie that I watch, which is I Saw Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay, hold on. I haven't seen this yet. Yes. I don't care if you spoil anything. It's Godzilla. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want to see it really bad. It's
really fucking good.
Okay,
I watched it in 3D. And it was fucking fantastic. I loved it. But it leads me into my next bit, because I think the problem with movies like Godzilla is that, first of all, you have critics who don't know what the fuck kaiju movies are and like what they're supposed to be. And so when you see reviews on them, it makes me mad, because these people are wanting something that Godzilla's movies just aren't. Like Godzilla movies are not like deep, like meaningful stories with like entirely fleshed out characters that like have character arcs and stuff like that. Like, no, that's not why I want to see Godzilla. I want to see Godzilla in Boston smashing up a baseball stadium to fight a 3-headed dragon. Like, that's what I want to see. And that's what I got.
I think the caveat to that is that Godzilla 1 could have some deep messages, talking about Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and its radiation and the government. That Godzilla 1, Gojira 1, whatever how the fuck you want to call it, I can see having but everything since then. And I have not seen every Godzilla movie. You know me, I'm not a huge kaiju fan. You know that. The most kaiju I get is Super Sentai. That's kind of where I stop at. I'm not a Godzilla guy. I'm not a Jurassic Park guy. You're way more into that stuff than I am.
I'm a big kaiju guy. Yeah.
And obviously, whenever we talk about, even years ago when Jurassic World came out, you were definitely the spearhead to go see that movie.
For the Jurassic World fan club. I have since realized that it's not a good movie, but I enjoy it once again for the spectacle of being able to see dinosaurs on screen again, which is something that I enjoy.
The statement of what Rocco from Mega 64 says, which is, I didn't like it, but I enjoyed watching it.
Yes.
Which is like, I think I understand what you're saying. Like, I hate Birdemic.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed watching Birdemic.
I enjoy watching Birdemic. The Godzilla thing, Godzilla's on a different length, especially for King of the Monsters from Jurassic World, where I enjoyed watching it and I liked it. I really, really liked this movie a lot. I think the director listened to what kaiju fans said in the first movie from Godzilla 2014, which was that there wasn't enough Godzilla, because Godzilla is all over this fucking movie and I love it. It's a kaiju fest, all sorts of different monsters. I mean, you've got the big ones. You've got King Ghidorah, you've got Rodan, you got Mothra, and you got Godzilla, and then you've got he actually made like some of his own monsters, because you can't buy everything from Toho, because he'd be spending their whole budget just trying to buy like monster names. But But he made some of his own monsters, which look kind of cool. There's like a woolly mammoth type of thing. They don't really do much. They're just there to show you that there's more monsters in the world than just Godzilla and like these few. But
Right.
it was good world building for what they have to come.
I'm looking forward to seeing it for sure.
Yeah,
Hold on, I was trying to fix this real quick to see if I can get to where the camera. I can't tell. Is the camera switching while we talk or no?
I can never tell
You
because
can never tell.
it always just shows you. I think that's only on your end when it.
Because sometimes, like the last podcast we did, sometimes it didn't switch the cameras for some
Oh, it
reason.
didn't.
Yeah, it was just sticking on me, which was annoying as
Huh.
hell. So I'm trying to
Strange.
make sure that I can get that before we can. You can keep talking about it though as I work
Yeah.
on this, or whatever
Um,
else you want to mention.
yeah, I mean that's just the biggest thing is just like I mean it's what I wanted. I remember when we talked about the original 2014. I mean, I still like 2014. I rewatched it a couple months ago. And I still like it. I enjoy it for what it is. I definitely don't think it had enough Godzilla for my liking, but I definitely understand what Gareth Evans was trying to do there. I definitely don't think it's weird because he's made other monster movies in the past, but his monster movies are very much like hiding the monster, which is fine for like when you're doing something like Monster Island or something like that, which is how he got 2014's Godzilla. But that movie was much more about like hiding Godzilla a lot and like not doing a lot to show it, or it's like you see Godzilla in passing from like a news feed or something like that, which is like cool in concept, but like when I'm trying to watch like Godzilla to fight a monster, I don't want to see like a glimpse of him as like a shelter's doors are like closing. Like I want to see him like fight Ghidorah or fight whatever sort of monster like in the middle of the open, and that's what I got with this movie. So I mean, I enjoyed it quite a bit. The human characters still stuck, but I also don't care about the human characters. Um, they had a really bad plot twist though, which made no sense. I don't really want to go into it because it's just really dumb. I mean, if you watch it, you'll immediately know and you'll be like, "Oh, that's really stupid." But
What is it?
basically, the woman that you thought was like a good person ends up being a bad guy.
Um,
It is a really cliched way of doing it too, because it was them. They're in Antarctica. They're trying to release Ghidorah, and you like think that she's doing it against her will, and then she like basically releases him on purpose, and you're like, that makes no fucking sense. And then they try to have a scene like a couple of minutes later where she like explains her actions, and I was like, that makes no sense. Like your logic doesn't make any sense. But I also don't care because she released Ghidorah, and then he ends up going crazy, and I love it. So,
so what exactly is the premise of the movie, real fast? Like, what is it?
so the premise of the movie, for the most part, is that it's been 4 years since Godzilla's attack in San Francisco, and basically the world's like trying to rebuild, and the main mom, Vera Farmiga, is working for Monarch, the secret organization that goes after kaiju. So she's working on a site where Mothra is, and she ends up like releasing Mothra, and then this eco-terrorist group like kidnaps her because they want to release King Ghidorah to like start a new. Basically, it's like instead of being like nuclear fallout messaging, this one's very much like eco-terrorist and like we want to build the world and like humans are a plague and the world needs to be reset to balance and some shit like that. And so the whole premise is them trying to release Ghidorah to like restore balance to like nature, and then you end up finding out that anybody who doesn't know Ghidorah, I guess, is a shock to them. But he's an alien, so he's like not from this world. So he actually ends up like upsetting the balance and all this shit. So Godzilla has to fight him.
So why? What's the point of him? Like, why is Godzilla doing it? Like, why is he a good guy? Is he a
So
good
Godzilla's
guy?
doing it because King Ghidorah is trying to take his place as alpha, because Godzilla is the alpha of all the monsters, so they listen to him. And so Ghidorah is basically like a second alpha. And Ghidorah basically, since he's an alien, he's like, when he ends up becoming like the alpha for a little bit, he like ends up trying to like terraform the earth or some shit like that. And so Godzilla's trying to stop him so that he doesn't like completely wipe out, all life on Earth, basically.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I will see it at some point. How was what's it called? Millie Bobby Brown.
Pointless. I didn't like her in it. But it's like it's all the human characters. It's like every time I see these movies, I'm like, I don't care about you. Kyle Chandler was fine. But yeah, Millie Bobby Brown, I was like, ugh, I just don't care. I just don't care about you.
Millie Bobby Brown.
With her trying to like draw Ghidorah through because they have like a sound thing that like can recreate the sound of like Alpha. So she like ends up drawing Ghidorah away from like ends up drawing him away so that Godzilla has time to like heal up and like get a power up a little bit. So I mean that was interesting, but I mean for the most part I was just like I don't care about you.
So is anyone from the first one in this movie?
Ken Watanabe is.
But the military guy, the son of
Brian. No, he's not in it. And Scarlet Witch isn't in it. And then
hold on, she's in that.
That are in the first movie are the Monarch people. So it's the Ken Watanabe, and then the woman who also was in The Shape of Water, which I realized when I was watching this. I was like, oh, that's the mute girl from Shape of Water. Okay.
And Monarch, that's from Kong, right?
That's in Kong too, yeah. That's the John Goodman, yeah.
Right, making sure. Okay. Gotcha. So they're doing their best to set up the crossover.
Yeah, they're doing I think they did a fairly decent job of like making it all work and set up. And I mean they mentioned Kong. There's a few bits where they like mention Kong or like Skull Island. I mean, just trying to let you know they're like, hey, King Kong versus Godzilla is coming.
So do they explain if the other is Godzilla an alien? How do they explain? Or is he radioactive? What do they explain him?
No, they basically they have the best bit ever, which is that the Hollow Earth is real in Godzilla, and I love it.
Oh, okay.
Godzilla is basically like a prehistoric creature, like before the dinosaurs and shit like that. And there was like a civilization that lived in the Hollow Earth that like worshipped him, and like I think he wasn't created by nuclear radiation, but he woke up from it.
Right.
And the place that he goes to, it's like his home, and like that's in the Hollow Earth is like radiation central, and so that's why he like ends up going there. Is because it's just.
Is it like an island or like what is it? Is it just water?
It's like a city almost. It just looks like a city. It doesn't look. It's not an island. It's like a lot of it's like underwater. So it's like it reminded me a lot of not in like size because it's like way bigger, but like the Alien vs Predator, like that type of like hidden civilization like underneath the earth. You remember in that one where there was like a temple deep down, like the Predator, like the ancient people, like the Predators have them make. It was like the same type of thing.
Isn't there like a pyramid in that movie?
Yeah, basically that, but it's not a pyramid. At least I don't know. It might have been a pyramid. That place was so fucking big because I mean it had to fit Godzilla. Like you couldn't even see like where like the structure of it was. You just saw like hallways and there's like cave paintings of like people worshiping Godzilla and shit like that. So
okay, I gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, so that was cool. And then the only other thing I watched was I watched two other things.
Okay.
So I watched Aladdin.
Oh, me too.
I didn't mind it.
Okay,
I didn't think it was bad.
Here comes the Aladdin spoiler cast. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Aladdin spoiler cast. So I didn't mind it. I thought it was decent. I liked it for the most part. Will Smith was better than I thought he was gonna be. The only parts that I didn't like, which I don't know why I said this in my newsroom and people like argued me with about it, but I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just my subjective opinion, but I like Will Smith for the most part, but the parts that I didn't like was during the songs like Friend Like Me. There was parts where he was like obviously trying to like imitate Robin Williams, which I just didn't like. But it's like that's the lyrics of the song, so I don't know how you'd really fix it without like changing the lyrics. But I mean, they did change the song in and of itself, so it's not like you can't fuck with it a little bit. I don't know. Whereas like the part where he's like doing the restaurant shit, where he's like the I'm your maitre d' shit, and I was like, I can't help hearing like Robin Williams do it. So to have him do like a bad impression of that line just sounds, I don't know, it sounded off to me. But other than that, I really liked it. So
I thought it was a movie.
Yeah.
That's my for the years I've been saying that's my way to describe a movie that is fine. It's a movie. I think that Will Smith was fine. Him and Allie from New Girl were really Allie from New Girl is Jasmine's maiden person.
Is that Allie from New Girl?
Yeah, it's Winston's wife, girlfriend from New Girl.
Oh, I haven't got that far. That's why.
Oh, okay,
I'm only like season 3 or 4, I think, in New Girl.
Yeah, you need to get
before
farther.
Megan Fox gets there. So
okay, she's a cop in that show.
Okay.
With Winston's partner or whatever.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah, they were the best parts of the movie.
Yeah,
I think that
I didn't mind Aladdin. I didn't like Jafar.
Jafar sucked.
Yeah,
Aladdin, I thought looked the part.
Yeah.
My biggest complaint with the movie is that all of the singing scenes really were so static and boring.
Yeah,
like a lot of especially the solo singing.
Well, the one that's most egregious to me was Jasmine's new song, where it was like, I don't know, it just was really boring. I don't know.
Yeah, the end of
it was supposed to be more about like the messaging behind it, but I just didn't care about the messaging, so it was just super boring. I just didn't care.
Yeah, her end solo song in the palace, I thought it was a Kelly Clarkson song.
Yeah,
like a Pink song or something. It was a little. It didn't fit the tone
like
of the movie
Clarkson for sure. Yeah,
it didn't fit the tone of the movie. It didn't fit the music of the movie.
Yeah.
And also, it was so Bollywood.
Yeah.
For a clearly Middle Eastern Persian type whatever thing.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. Jafar was too young, not menacing enough.
Yeah, that's the thing is he just wasn't. I wasn't scared of him at all.
Yeah, and then
and I just wasn't.
The Sultan was whatever. I mean, to me, it's my least favorite of the ones that I've seen. And and I've only seen one. So
is that the only one you've seen?
No, this is two.
It's definitely not my favorite. I mean, of the ones that I've seen, The Jungle Book is by far my favorite.
Oh, I haven't. I've only seen this one, and I've seen Beauty and the Beast.
Jungle Book is a fantastic live action remake because I mean it's Jon Favreau. I mean it's great. I highly recommend you watch it if you haven't because it's a great movie.
I haven't seen it. When it was coming out, all I thought about, and this is not a bash on anyone. This is bash on myself. Yeah. This is a personal thing, personal problem that I have.
Okay.
When Jungle Book I never liked Jungle Book as a kid. I never cared for it. Okay. But when it was coming out, I kept thinking and confusing myself that this is where the wild things are.
Oh.
And when that movie came out in high school, I thought this movie, because everyone was riding that movie so fucking hard when that shit came out. And first off, that book fucking blows. And I haven't seen the movie, but from watching the trailers, it looks like it fucking blows. And I could be wrong. And that's just a personal. I kept confusing them for a second, and I was like, this reminds me of a little boy, a shit version of Tarzan, kinda.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my mind was at, but they talk. Tarzan, they don't talk. He's just he can't talk to the animals. He happens to be an alpha guy.
Gorilla talks. No, wait, no. I was thinking George of the Jungle. What the fuck?
In the Tarzan animated movie, they talk, I believe. Yeah.
I think they do, yeah. In the animated one they do.
Yeah, because his little friend is like the Thumper.
Yeah, he's got the elephant and then the little gorilla.
Yeah. I mean it was fine. Music was fine. Acting was basic. I'm more excited for Mulan.
I can't wait to see that come out. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with that.
And it's not because I have rice DNA. It's not because I have that. It's more because I think that. Biased? Yeah, I'm not biased because of the rice. I'm not rice biased. But I think that it's gonna be a better movie.
Yeah,
and I like Aladdin a lot. I like Aladdin.
I think even more than Aladdin, like I mean, especially with like people that I've been talking to lately, like people who like I know don't watch a lot of movies, but like love Disney movies. It's like I don't know, for a lot of people, Mulan's like their favorite, and so
yeah.
But I mean, we said the same thing I think leading up to Aladdin. So I don't know. It's like all those movies around that area of like the '90s. It's like all those people love all those movies. So
and Lion King's first, and then Mulan, right?
Yeah, Lion King comes out this year. Well, they haven't even. I don't even know if they have a release date for Mulan yet. Like, I haven't seen anything about it. They don't have footage or anything.
I know it's done filming because Jimmy Wong, Freddie Wong's brother, is in it.
Okay.
He plays one of the three. What's it called? Guys.
One of her soldier buddies.
Yeah, one of the like Ling Ping Wing and Ting or whatever.
Yeah.
whatever the fuck their names are.
Yeah.
I don't, like we talked before about this. I really don't. This is obviously a cash grab, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Oliver and Company.
I do love Oliver and Company.
Oliver and Company. Bring me Billy Joel back.
Yeah. Bring Billy Joel.
Where's the rescuers?
I don't know how you could do that. Would be, it's the same thing where it's like, I also don't want to, I'll probably watch The Lion King, but it's like, I don't want it because it's not live action, because you can't do live action. It's just CGI. And that'd be the Rescuers. It's like, you can't do a live action Rescuers. It'd just be CGI. I mean, I guess you could have the kid, but like the characters I care about, the mice, are going to be CGI mice. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's G-Force that came out.
Yeah, that's true.
Alvin and Chipmunks came out. The Squeakquel.
Bad movies.
Yeah, well,
all right.
Yeah, I've never seen any of them.
Yeah, I've seen the first one.
All I know is that who's in that movie? Who plays their dad?
It's what's his face from he's like from all those romantic comedies, but he plays whatever their like father figure is.
Who's in Garfield?
That's different. That's
Dave Arquette?
That's the dude from Franklin and Bash. Oh God, what's his name?
Oh yeah, not Saved by the Bell.
No, the one in Alvin and the Chipmunks is the one from like Serendipity and like all those kind of movies. Oh God, what the fuck was his name?
I thought it was someone famous.
No, I mean he's famous for like rom-coms.
Hold on, Chipmunks cast. Justin Long.
Is it?
Is it?
Is it Justin Long?
Hold on.
I thought it was somebody else. Jason Lee, I thought.
He is in it. I saw he's in it. Hold on.
Justin Long plays Alvin. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason Lee.
Yeah, Jason Lee. Yeah, he's from fucking My Name Is Earl, right?
Yeah, that's him. That's the other thing.
That guy. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
I think he used to be a former pro skateboarder. Actually.
Did he?
I think he was a.
No. In his IMDb picture, he's got a sick-looking mustache. So
yeah, I think before he was an actor, he was a pro skateboarder. I think.
Huh. The Tony Hawk route, I see.
Yeah. Well, except Tony Hawk never made a good movie.
That's true. Well, he could have, but they didn't want to do Skate Jam.
Well, it's just a video I saw on the internet of Tony Hawk. Is like a skateboard YouTube channel, and they were interviewing Tony Hawk, talking about like the game, like how big Tony Hawk was as a game.
Yeah.
And they go, well, Tony, how much did you actually? And they're friends. How much did you make off that shit? You made a fuck ton. Yeah. And I can't remember the exact number, but I remember he was like telling him he went to lunch with one of the producers from Activision, and Activision handed him a check for his royalties from like Tony Hawk 1, 2, and 3 or whatever, and it was like $10 million.
Until 3 games were out, like Jesus,
or whatever. It was like $10 million or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, clearly this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, what else have you been checking out besides Aladdin? Aladdin's whatever.
So the last thing I checked out movie-wise was that I checked out, I watched Rocket Man.
Oh, okay.
The Elton John biopic. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I just really like Elton John's music. I didn't know too much about his personal life, so it was all new stuff to me. So that was interesting to see the way he grew up and everything like that.
All I know is he's gay and drugs.
I liked it. Yeah, he was gay. His daddy didn't love him. It's basically the whole gist of it. And then he ended up being like an alcoholic and a drug addict, and then he got clean, and he made one of my favorite songs of all time. So,
which is what?
I'm Still Standing, which is like my favorite song of his.
My favorite song by Elton John is "Take Me to the Pilot."
Ooh, my buddy, we were talking about it. His favorite song is apparently was it Harlequins and Masquerades or something like that?
Oh, okay.
Or Mannequins and Masquerades. Like I'd never heard of it before, and I was like, "What the fuck are you even talking about?" Like I've never heard the song my whole fucking life.
Yeah, I know.
So I was like, "Yeah, it's not bad."
Well, I like the trailer a lot because I felt like, well, first of all, I like Taron at
yeah, he's definitely the best part of it for sure. Was him as Elton John.
I like him a lot.
I didn't realize he didn't write his own songs, which was interesting. They show a lot of basically a lot of the movie is him and his relationship with his songwriter, which was nice to see. Because I didn't even know he didn't write his own songs. Like he was, so that was cool to see. I mean, I really enjoyed it a lot. I definitely see it again. I mean, it was solid like 7 out of 10. Like I'd rewatch it again.
Well, so is a lot of the movie like the scene in the trailer where he's playing Rocket Man and he starts floating? Is that a lot of that or no?
Like that fantastical stuff.
Yeah, is it like that or no?
It happens a bit more when he's actually like doing concerts and stuff like that. But
Okay.
I mean, besides that, it's pretty grounded for the most part. But
Because
a
the
lot
one
of
thing,
stuff also is like during his like addiction and like his drug addict phase. So I kind of saw it
right,
through the lens of like when he's in this like inebriated state, like this is how he like envisions himself. I mean, that's kind of how
right,
I
okay.
went about seeing it. But
I
I mean, that's one of my favorite shots in the movie, which is like during his first concert, his first real concert, and they have that shot of him doing like the anti-grav on the piano, which is just like a beautiful fucking looking shot. So
I would like to see a Led Zeppelin movie.
oh, I'd see that.
That'd be fun. I want to see
I
a
want to see
Metallica
Metallica.
movie.
I want to see
Metallica.
Metallica for sure.
Yeah, man, that'd be rad.
Yeah, that'd be rad as shit. I want to
1980s
see
San
because I
Francisco.
mean we were both listening to the last podcast on the left, and
Mm-hmm.
apparently there was a movie that came out recently that talked about the Norwegian black metal scene, and I want to see
Really? That's cool. Is it a movie or like a documentary?
or something like that. Yeah, it's like Mark Vickness, like all that shit. Like,
right.
yeah, I want to see it real bad.
You know, it's because that 2 episode arc, is it 2 or 3 episodes of last podcast?
Two. I think
I like
so.
it a lot because I'm a big fan of that music.
Yeah, it was really interesting because I didn't know too much about like the death metal scene, and so hearing like the perspective about it and like how it came to be was like super interesting. And then it got me into like listening to some of their stuff. So
yeah, I like a lot of death metal. I really can't stand black metal stuff. It's not my taste.
Yeah.
A lot of those bands, those like black metal bands from that kind of like area, I think are garbage as fuck. But that's just my personal opinion. And when I can't read the logo on the T-shirt, that's my barometer for this band might not
when
be.
I can't read the logo on the album, then I'm like, it's probably not for me.
And that's when a guy goes, clearly it says Entombed on it, and I go, clearly you can't fucking read. That says Squiggle on it.
It's I was listening to I remember we were watching the Trivium album review, and I was going through a bunch of the reviews on that channel for like metal albums, stuff like that. And they like do like the album artwork a lot of time, or just like the band's logo in general. And I was like, if the title for what the album was not here, I would not know what the fuck I'm looking at.
Well, what were we looking at? What is that?
They were doing shit. I can't even remember. It was like a couple weeks ago now that the what?
Well, where were you
What's
looking?
that? What's the channel called?
What was what?
What's the channel called?
What, Banger TV or who was it?
Banger TV, is that what it is?
There's what's one of them. That's a big one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that was the one I was listening to because I was listening to that guy's review of Trivium again.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We should look at Zach. We should look at. I think. Speaking of metal and documentaries, Banger TV YouTube channel.
Well, Dark Throne, that one.
Right. So they have the guy who made that channel. His name's Sam Dunn. He's a big like anthropologist, documentarian. He did a documentary for VH1 when I was in middle school called like Headbanger's Journey or something like that. And it's like an 8-part video, hour-long series, 8 episodes where he like travels around the world and like, talks about metal to different bands. And he did one called Metal Evolution, where each episode he's talking about a genre of metal and how it became a thing. He interviews bands and that thing. Okay. He put out a lost free episode on the YouTube channel, Banger TV. And it's like extreme metal or whatever. And it's a free episode. And you can watch it on YouTube, and it's really good. But the rest of this show is super awesome. I would recommend it if you like
for
that.
Sure.
Whenever I've seen the thrash metal one so many times.
Okay.
So
nice. Yeah, I'll definitely look it up for sure.
I mean, checking out anything else?
I read a little bit more of Dune this week, but other than that, that's basically all I've been doing. So, Jason, what are you up to, man?
I got a couple good things going on. Firstly, I read again. I have all in trade paperback, but I read it again on my phone. Jason Aaron's Scalped, which is a fantastic crime comic.
Yeah.
Very great series. Even when it finished a couple years back, I think 2012. I could be wrong when it ended. I didn't love the ending. I still don't love the ending, but the journey is awesome. Really great, like neo-Western type comic book about reservation, Indian reservation, and then undercover FBI agents and stuff like that. It's really great. The other thing I read, comic book wise, is it's a 4-issue series called Spencer and Locke. I think like I recommend this to you. I think you did this a lot. The second series is out currently, coming out issue 2, I believe. The best way to describe it is it's Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin's the kid, right?
Calvin's the kid and Hobbes is the tiger. Yeah,
I've never read Calvin and Hobbes, but it's Calvin and Hobbes. Spencer and Locke is Calvin and Hobbes if Calvin became a police detective and grew up in a really shitty part of town and was beat by his mom. So
I love it. I love it already.
Spencer is a panther. It's a stuffed doll that he carries around with him, and it's his like, emotional support. But in the comic book, there's scenes where you see him talking to Spencer, and it's him in a booth at a restaurant talking to a stuffed animal. But in his own head, it's also a private detective or a detective cop. The whole
So he sees Locke as another detective.
The kid is Locke. It's him, and he grew up with Spencer. They grew up together, right? And the whole issue, the 4-issue arc's about his an old girlfriend of his gets murdered, and so he's sitting there at the crime scene. It's him and Spencer. Spencer's the panther, and he's like, they're looking at the scene, analyzing the scene or whatever, and then in reality, it's actually Locke by himself holding the Spencer stuffed animal in his jacket or whatever, but he's talking to it because I guess he just formed an imaginary friend and it helped him live through his life. Whatever. It's a super like it's half super serious and noir and crimey, and other half is Calvin and Hobbes. There's like a police chase scene where he's a detective and he's like the detective who breaks the rules or whatever.
Yeah,
he's like driving and he's like shooting and dodging stuff, and it will cut panel to panel of him like in his cart, like his wagon as a kid, like moving the wagon around. Oh, I learned these skills from this. I learned them as a kid. Yeah, it's a really funny.
That's cool.
It's like Calvin Hobbes who grew up and he became a cop, and life was actually worse. It's fun. It's 4 issues. I thought was really great for the first part.
Yeah.
The other thing I watched, speaking of Predator earlier, I watched The Predator.
The new one?
The new one with the guy from
This Is Us.
He's in it, Sterling K. Brown, but also the main character is the guy from is Murphy from Narcos.
He's also in Logan. He's the bad guy in Logan.
He's the bad guy in Logan, yeah. I think this movie, it got bad reviews, like got mediocre reviews.
I liked it, honestly.
It's fun, man. That's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. There's that one bit at the end, though, in the forest, where it's like, there's that one moment where it's like Sterling K. Brown dies. No, like, I didn't even know he was fucking dead for like 2 minutes. I was like, what the fuck? He died?
That movie is so fun and so meaningless. And the end scene is such a cool, like, henshin scene.
Yeah.
With the fucking, like, armor gun thing. Like,
Predator, I dig that shit a lot.
And the last line is like,
how much did you think it was going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger that popped the fuck out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I thought, dude. I was like, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger's about to pop out of this. They like cryo froze Arnold, and now he's about to come out, and he's going to be this anti-predator weapon.
I absolutely thought that. And then I was like, oh, that's Arnold. Duh. And then when it attached to the guy's arm, I was like, oh, no, it's going to blow them up. And then becomes the suit or whatever. And then the doctor goes, I could be wrong, but I think this is what he says. Oh, what the hell is that thing? And then Murphy from Narcos goes, that's going to be my new suit. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, man. Give me number 2, baby.
Yeah, I loved it.
Fun, man. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, I wish more people had thought that, because I definitely think it's a fun movie. I would have definitely liked to have seen like more stuff like that.
And why are people complaining so much? It's the Predator.
All the crazy military people. I loved all that shit.
Yeah, and why are people complaining? It's the fucking Predator. It's not like it's supposed to be a deep movie.
I don't know.
Whatever. So I watched that, enjoyed that. A couple more things.
Yeah.
I told you I bought a PS4 again.
You did.
So I am playing Spider-Man.
Yes. Spooderman.
I traded my PS4 in 3 days before they released the Pokemon trailer. So there's that. But I'm enjoying Spider-Man. It's really fun. I'm only like 15% in the game. I'm not very far. I'm only at the mission where I just talked to Asian guy about the mask, and that's all. That's
okay.
I'm
pretty early still, yeah.
I'm still early in the game. I'm gonna play more after we do this. After we finish the podcast, I'm gonna go play some more. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's really fun.
I love it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like the redesign to Mary Jane a lot.
I like her a lot. I don't like that you have to play as her a whole lot.
Oh, you have to? Oh, God.
There's a couple of levels where you have to play as her, and I hate those kind of levels in games, because it's all just like, first of all, it's just a powerless character, and it's sneaking stuff where it's just like, sneaking shit is just so boring. And it's a character that can't do anything. Like, if she doesn't sneak, you lose, and it's just, it's so boring. But I do like her redesign a lot. It's weird that she's the journalist instead of Peter. That part is a little strange to me.
Yeah,
but
did he ever work for the Beagle in this continuity?
I don't think he has. I don't even know what his. I guess he's just a scientist because he's working for Otto. So I guess that's all he does is he's a scientist instead of being a journalist.
Well, man, he's never a journalist. He's just a photographer. But I feel like I don't know.
Yeah.
That's how he made money. That's how he paid for shit. Take pictures of himself. Right?
Octavius's laboratory instead.
Yeah. So I'm playing Spider-Man. I'm enjoying that. And then the last two things I did. A couple weeks back, wrestling, the big day in the world of professional wrestling.
I haven't checked this out yet, but I need to. I want to check it out really bad.
So, All Elite Wrestling, which is a new wrestling promotion from Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, the Elite, the
cream of the crop.
Yeah, so they made their own company. Like I think
Chris Jericho was in it too, right? The pay-per-view.
Yeah, Chris Jericho's part of All Elite Wrestling as well. He's in it as well. They came out I think in January, I believe, and announced the company after a successful pay-per-view before that called All In. They announced we're All Elite Wrestling. We're gonna start signing people. They sign a bunch of people. Double or Nothing. This is their last pay-per-view they just did as a company. It was in Vegas, and it was awesome. It was the best wrestling I've seen since the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
It literally is the best wrestling.
Well, I was listening to last podcast because apparently Ben's coming out with a wrestling podcast, which I want to start listening to.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who his co-host is yet. He's being kind of secretive about whose co-host is, but apparently it's somebody who has chops in the industry, which has me piqued.
It's probably the big guy.
He was in Vegas for Double or Nothing, so he saw it live and he loved it. So
it's probably that big guy who he does shows with on Greg Redfield's show. The big black guy, like Tyson.
Oh, yeah. Tyrus. It might be, yeah.
Probably him. He's a professional wrestler. He's friends with Ben and Kat Timpton and all those guys, and Greg Redfield.
I'd be interested to see a podcast with him and Ben. Two big guys talking about wrestling. I love it.
Yeah. So Double or Nothing. It's been a couple weeks now since it came out, but we haven't done a podcast since then. So it's the best wrestling I've seen since 2003. Since the end of the Attitude Era.
That's before John Cena.
Yeah, Dusty. Not Dusty. Excuse me. That's Dusty's the dad, but Dusty, whatever. Goldie versus Cody was a fantastic match.
Oh, Gold Dust.
Yeah, so he left WWE,
right?
So he can join his brother's promotion.
Okay.
They did it. The storyline was Cody was, hey, listen, I'm the youngest. I'm the young son. I was snubbed in WWE. I have to tear down the wall that is you represent what our dad was. You're the last era of the Attitude Era. I'm going to put you down, beat you, That way the Attitude Era can die and we can start a new thing. So he wins that match, and it's a bloody, brutal match. You haven't seen much blood in wrestling since fucking 1999. And it's just crossroads everywhere, which is their finisher. And it's Gold Dust looking. It's not Gold Dust, but he's the natural. He's not wearing. He can't wear the Gold Dust costume because it's no licensed. But it's a great match. Cody was awesome. The ending was really great. Cody wins, and you can watch it still, and they wouldn't ruin it because it's whatever. It's a great match regardless of how it ends.
Yeah.
Cody wins, and Justin's all bloody up, and he's 50-some years old. Cody's like 33, and then Cody goes on, starts cutting a promo, and he's like, there's an upcoming match coming up, and the tag team match, and I don't need, a partner. I don't need, a teammate. And the crowd goes, "You need your brother," and then he's like, "I need my older brother," and he's like, "Oh my god!" And they hug, and it's all bloody. Oh,
damn. Yeah, dude.
Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers.
Oh shit!
Great storyline. They're building up. Great match. Awesome. Headlining event. Oh, there's some great women's matches too. Fatal 4-way between Naya. I believe I've never seen her before. A lot of these indie wrestlers before. Awesome Kong, Nia Rose, I believe, Britt Baker, MD, and a new favorite of mine is her name is Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray is pretty much like it reminds me of a Bailey character gimmick, but way better.
Just like super positive,
happy, but way better. Now, there's one thing before I get to the headliner.
Okay.
There was a overbooked Royal Rumble kind of thing is what they called it, like the over budget battle royale.
Okay.
After this podcast, I want you to Google or YouTube specifically. You can find full matches of this wrestler. Okay.
Yeah.
Write his name down. You're gonna want to see this guy.
Okay.
His name is Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy?
No, look, I'm not. Again, this is people who watch the show. I do not know indie wrestling that well. I know Attitude Era is where I grew up in. I stopped 2004, 5. I've been to a couple house shows here. Columbia.
But
okay, don't watch it yet.
I didn't watch it, but I saw that.
Okay, don't watch it yet. I'm not on my fingers are not on the pulse of indie wrestling. I live in Charleston. There's no indie wrestling like that here.
There's no wrestling.
Yeah, PWG, all these other things. The only thing I know is the fucking Bullet Club and the occasional New Japan stuff that I watch. Right, that's all I know. Yeah. So I'm new to this. I'm going to AEW because of Chris Jericho. That's really why. Because even when Cody was in WWE, I didn't care for Stardust. I didn't care.
I didn't care for Stardust, but I didn't watch Stardust. But I really enjoyed him when he had his storyline with it was him, DiBiase, and Orton. I love their legacy storyline. That was probably my favorite Cody Rhodes. So if he's back doing something like that, then I'm definitely going to enjoy it because I think that's by far my favorite.
Before the match, he comes out to a really great fucking intro, right? It's so good. And he looks fucking cool, man. He's like a cool ass jacket. He got a cool kid on, like his pants are cool. And he walks down to the ring, and then Brandy, his wife, hands him a sledgehammer because 2 days before, or whatever, a week before, however long ago, Triple H came out and like brushed off the company. It was like, oh yeah, that pissant company or whatever. And then back in the Titantron, something lifts up, and you see a replica of Triple H's like throne that he has, and Cody walks up to it and just fucking smashes it in the fucking.
Yeah, dude.
So good. It's fucking too sweet, baby.
Oh my god.
And so Orange Cassidy, he's a comedy wrestler.
Okay.
He's a good wrestler. I've seen him actually do wrestling stuff in matches from YouTube videos.
Okay.
He is fucking on fire. He is so good. Big standouts from this pay-per-view. Him, Sean Spears, I believe his name. He's a Ty Dillinger, I think is what he was before. Orange Cassidy, him, Kylie Ray, Britt Baker, really great. Lucha Bros I've never seen before. They were really great. So, but the pay-per-view Jericho Omega 2 So great. So great.
It's Kenny Omega, right? Did Kenny Omega sign with this company?
Yes. He left New Japan. He is now in All Elite Wrestling. Jericho did his new move called the Judas Effect, which is pretty much a spinning back elbow. But it looked really good. Yeah. It looked really good. People were worried about it because it kind of looks stupid. But he's also 50, almost 50, so we get it. He does the walls. It's great. Kenny does his awesome. Kenny's the best wrestler in the fucking game, just flat out. Kenny Omega is the best guy. And I mean, granted, look, in terms of like from someone who like me who only has seen Impact and Ring of Honor and New Japan, I know all these other small companies that I would never see. I can't speak for them, but from the big
promotion, they have Ring of Honor, so I see it when I'm working sometimes on Saturdays. I see matches from Ring of Honor.
So from Ring of Honor, the Impact, WWE, and New Japan, that's all I can talk about. Kenny is the best worker. He's the best. He has him and Jericho are the best. Like Jericho,
he's a fucking nerd, and I love it.
Yeah. And Jericho is still the best on the mic, still the best promos. I was actually watching old promos of him yesterday at work. He is so good. Chris Jericho is so good at 40, whatever he is, 50, 48, whatever. He's still in such good shape, wrestling shape. He's still so smart. Kenny Omega is just a fucking animal. And then, so Chris wins because the first match, Kenny won. Bah! Second match, Jericho.
The first interview, Kenny won?
Yeah, and then Jericho wins the second one. Bum. He's gonna go off to try to go for the AEW championship because another guy in the pay-per-view, his name's Hangman Page. Adam Hangman Page is from Virginia. He's like a cowboy. I've been watching him. Awesome wrestler. It's him and Jericho coming up in the next pay-per-view for the championship belt. But the match ends, and out of the stands comes Jon Moxley.
What?
Do you know who Jon Moxley is? Because I didn't know who Jon Moxley was.
It sounds familiar. Yeah. Right?
Fucking Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose. Jesus Christ.
Now, I knew that familiar. Yeah, I knew he was going to leave WWE because I've been watching a lot of WWE stuff recently. Oh, his contract's ending, blah, blah, blah. This was obvious where he was going to go, to me at least. So he comes out of the stands, the crowd fucking goes crazy. He does his fucking double hand DDTs. It's awesome. Yeah. He throws Kenny off a fucking big ass pile of poker chips onto a table.
So cool.
So cool. And then he goes to Japan and wins the fucking like US championship belt in New Japan. Wins it like killer match. So
Ambrose does?
Yeah. So it has been a good month for wrestling. Because WWE is losing viewers every week. They are wasting talent. They have the best talent in the world cumulatively, and they're wasting it.
Well, that's the thing that makes me the most upset. Because I remember when, one of the biggest things to me was I watched a little bit of WrestleMania last year, and the things that were most upsetting to me was that I watched the match with Shinsuke Nakamura, and I felt like it was just not. I feel like he'd been doing better like weekly than like at WrestleMania, which I thought was super disappointing. And they have fucking AJ Styles, and they fucking waste the shit out of him and treat him like a fucking dunce, and it makes me upset because AJ is one of the fucking best in the biz. And then they have Samoa Joe, who literally like his first month did absolutely nothing, and I was so fucking pissed off.
You know, and it's terrible to me because as someone who grew up as young when those two guys were like, because they're really great now. But when they were in TNA X Division doing like young bucks, younger, obviously, I was like, these guys are awesome. These guys are better. Anyone in compared to WWE, these two guys specifically are killing it in TNA Impact. And I love Samoa Joe, one, because he's Samoan and I'm close enough to be Samoan. AJ Styles is the ranking is this: Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, the two best workers right now, flat out. Especially for AJ's age. Oh my god, he's like 40 and he's fucking doing spiral taps.
He's like 40 years old, dude. Yeah.
It's killer.
What a fucking
Shinsuke Nakamura is a massive talent and you're wasting it. King Ricochet is in WWE now. Killer wrestler wasting his talent. You have all these great people. That's why NXT is the only brand that I would even watch continually because they do well. That's the big complaint.
Yeah.
So, but Raw is
Still one of my favorite wrestlers. I don't know if he made it into the mainstream yet, but I still love. Oh God, who was the one that took the Ric Flair gimmick?
Oh, Bobby Roode.
With the Glorious.
Bobby Roode.
Yeah, Bobby Roode. Oh my God.
Him. Oh, also,
yeah. What a phenomenal fucking gimmick.
Real quick, at the other big highlight of Double or Nothing is a guy named MJF. 23, a young guy. He is a bad heel. I mean, in a good way. He is so good at cutting promos, and he's a solid wrestler.
Nice.
So Zach, you know who reveals? They were teasing the ADW heavyweight championship belt all week. They did a video. They were pranking everybody and kind of making a joke. So they revealed it at Double or Nothing.
Okay.
Who do you think revealed it?
Was it Cody?
Bret the Hitman Hart.
What the fuck?
Comes down, has the belt, reveals it. MJF comes out, cuts a promo, is fucking good. So good. You see Bret Hart not to laugh because of how good he is.
Yeah.
And then Jungle Boy, young wrestler. Jungle Boy is the son of Luke Perry, the actor who died recently from Riverdale.
What the fuck? Damn.
He comes out, has a moment. Hangman Page is out there looking at the belt. It's a good moment. Overall, best pay-per-view I've seen in a long, long time.
Okay.
So
I dig it, dude.
Watch it again. I check it out. Definitely check
it out. Watch it today for sure.
Definitely. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, watch the Kenny Jericho match, watch the Cody Dustin match, and then watch clips of Orange Cassidy just
killing
being such a good wrestler.
Yeah.
It's like I watched it because I didn't watch because the Battle Royale was a pre-show thing that was for free. I didn't watch it. I watched parts of it and I kind of skipped out, and the stream was messing up, so I watched something else.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see Orange Cassidy in it. And then I watched a video of him on YouTube called maybe it's the one you saw. Orange Cassidy destroys Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, that's the one I saw, yeah.
Okay, click on it right now. Just click on it. Just watch it again. It's fine. We don't care.
I'll turn the sound off.
Can
you hear that?
You have to watch it. You have the audio. It's fine.
Can you hear that?
Yep, you're good. More.
What the?
Playing in that heavy leather.
What the?
He's a sloth. He's a sloth. He just tries to preserve energy. But look how effective these kicks are. Dreamer can't even block them.
What the fuck?
Right here.
Oh.
I love it, dude. I love it so much.
So his gimmick is this. He's lazy.
Oh, he kicked up.
So
what a kick up.
His gimmick is that he's a lazy wrestler. He's just lazy.
Yeah.
He'll keep his hands in his pockets. People try to get his hands out of his pockets. He put the hands back in the pockets. He'll do thumbs up and he'll do it like this. You know when wrestlers go up to the top rope and they come out and they fucking go to the top rope?
Yeah.
He'll get ready like he's gonna go to the top rope and go to the first rope and just do this. It is the perfect gimmick. It's the perfect gimmick.
Amazing.
I spent an entire shift at work. I was doing a double at work. I spent the entire 8 hours of my first part of the shift just watching Orange Cassidy matches on YouTube.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So good. The last thing I've been doing has been finally back to it, watching Stardust Crusaders. I've read it.
What a fantastic shit.
Yeah, I read it before. I'm just now finally watching anime episode 14, I think. It's really great. Really great animated, so I'm happy to be watching that again.
Part 1 or part 2?
Part 1 right now.
Part 1? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just now at the part where they are about to meet the mom. The hanged man. Speaking of hanged men, the two right-handed mom lady. Just about to meet her.
Old lady. Yeah.
So I think that
I think one of my favorite stands. I can't remember what. Now I can't even remember most of the stands. They have some really fucking good stands in part 3.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting to the newest part.
I'm looking forward to part 5 being over, and then I'm just gonna binge through part 5.
Exactly. I'm trying to get through. Because part 5 is probably the one that I've read the least amount.
I haven't read any of it, honestly, and I feel like I need to go back and read it. But I was listening to the Super Best Friends.
Yeah.
I was listening to them talk about it a little bit on their old podcast because Willie is a big, huge JoJo fan.
Well,
and he's read all of it.
I was listening to Castle Super Beast, which is a new podcast.
I haven't listened to that one.
I was listening this morning to it, and they're talking about.
Were they talking about JoJo?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember he was talking about because everything that he caught up and read, obviously, all of it, and so everything he was talking about in part 5 and part 6, I was like, I can't wait to get into that shit. That I was like, I might have to start just watching it or reading it because
I part 5 is definitely the one that I've read the least. JoJo Line I've read.
That's
actually, I take it back.
That's the universe remake,
Yeah, I take it back. I've read the first 3 parts the most, multiple times, like twice or something. Nothing super crazy.
Yeah.
And from part 4, which I think you think that I would like a lot because I really like the Crow Zero kind, the Crows, the thug kind of. I really like that character a lot, but I haven't read that one that many times. And then anything past part 4, it's like I've read once just by binge reading, and that's kind of all I've done. So even like Steel Ball Run, I don't know too much about, and then the current one, I don't know.
There's 90 parts, isn't there? Isn't there? Is he still writing it?
Yeah, I think for part 5, JoJo Lion is part 6. I think that's the girl. I could be wrong. I can't remember.
I thought her name was Jolene.
Maybe that's what it is.
The sailor, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. And then that's part 5. Part 5 is Dio's son.
Yeah, part 5 is Giorno, and then
part 6 is
part 6. I think Jotaro's daughter.
Yep. Part 7 is Steel Ball Run.
Is that Steel Ball Run? I can't remember.
And part 8 is Sailor.
8 parts, isn't there? Or is there 9?
No, yeah, because the girl is the universe changing thing, and then the part after that is Steel Ball Run.
Okay.
And then the following part after that is the Sailor guy, which I haven't read any of. I haven't read any of that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Sailor guy is JoJo Lion.
It's not done, so I haven't. At least it's not from my memory. It's not done yet.
I don't think it's done yet. Yeah.
Well, that's all I have been checking out. A good bit of stuff. And like I said, once I'm done doing this, I'm gonna go upstairs and play some fucking Spider-Man. So
hell yeah, dude.
We can go ahead, move into the next segment.
Some
new stuff. We got a lot of new stuff we can pick here. Things that we think are the best. We have collected different pieces of news in the course of the last couple of days, last week or so. Things that we think are really big. Do you want to do E3 stuff, or do you want to skip E3 stuff? How do you feel? Because Sony's not going to be there.
Honestly, when it comes to E3 stuff, I don't know too much stuff that is actually going to be released, and then I don't actually know what's coming up. Because the only things I can think of is I want to hear more about the Avengers game, because we haven't heard from that shit in like 3 years. And then I want to hear about, I haven't played it, but I've been looking at it recently, and I want to see more from Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Okay.
And other than that, I don't know anything else of like interest or like I can't think of anything.
The only thing I want to see, I won't see because Sony's not going to be there.
Yeah.
I want to
Last of Us?
Well, not Last. I don't give a fuck about Last of Us anymore. After that last gameplay trailer, I was like, this game looks the same.
Yeah.
I don't care. What I really wanted to see is a Ghost of Tsushima or whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Sucker Punch's new game.
No, I want the Samurai game.
Yeah, isn't that Sucker Punch?
Is it Sucker Punch? I don't think it is.
I thought it was. It's not the Infamous. I thought it was the Infamous team's new game.
Is it no, is it? The Ghost.
Maybe it's not.
I think it's a Japanese studio, right?
I thought it was Sucker Punch.
The Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it is Sucker Punch.
Okay, it's gonna okay. That game looks awesome.
Yeah, that game looks rad as shit.
I need to hurry up and put some more out because I'm tired of waiting. That's about it. The one thing I do actually want to see from E3 is Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, Cyberpunk too. That'll probably be there because CD Projekt Red does their own shit. So
that's the only thing I want to see. If their Halo Infinite is going to be there, probably. I don't care about that.
I haven't played Halo since. Well, I've never owned an Xbox, so I've only played Halo from other people, but I haven't played one since. I think I played a little bit of like Halo 4, but I just didn't enjoy it. So
right. Well, what on our list intrigues you enough to talk about first? We'll just skip E3.
Well, one of the biggest things that I mean, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, so I think we can get to that later on. But one of the biggest things for me was that Death Stranding trailer and that gameplay, which was fucking 8.5-minute long trailer, the most Kojima-ass shit ever.
Let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
This is my mind's partly already kind of influenced by the Castle Super Beast because I was listening to him talk about this.
I've listened to a couple of other opinions, but I haven't listened to theirs yet. I might check theirs out.
Their opinion, I didn't even think about it when I was watching the trailer, and I would listen to their podcast and I go, "Oh shit, I see what they're saying."
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of nothing in this game world.
Yeah, it's pretty empty. It's a pretty empty world.
If that's the game,
Well,
and I don't want to reference them too much. I don't want to reference that podcast too much, but there's a point that I agree with. Is that this? I like Kojima. I really do not like Metal Gear Solid 5 all that much. I think gameplay is the best gameplay we've ever had in terms of mechanics. I think in terms of what I like about Kojima, it's my least favorite game because the story's not there. Kojima makes movie games, and I'm okay with that. Metal Gear Solid 4 was a hallway with a really great story. MGS3, fantastic game, fantastic story. MGS2, great game, great story. MGS1, fantastic game, great story. MGS5, fun gameplay, the worst story of all time. So if this game is going to be that, or they sacrifice the story for open world,
I don't know too much about MGS5's story.
It's non-existent.
I hope that there's more. There's like world building stuff in there, so I don't know. One thing that people cannot say is that Kojima doesn't know how to world build. So he's at least got a world there. But yeah, I definitely think that. We've seen this is like the 6th trailer that we've seen, and I would agree, we still don't really know what the hell is going on or what's happening. I think this gave this the most like definitive answers yet, but that's not saying a whole lot because we haven't really had any answers up to this point.
Yeah.
But at least gave you a thing where it's we
got you.
Clearly, there's some mission from the president of the United States of you trying to restore some sort of rebuild America or alternate dimensions or something like that. I don't know. There's a bunch of weird ass shit. But yeah, no, I definitely agree that there's if as far as definitive answers, there's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah.
I think my biggest problem. I played MGS5. I played it on my PC a lot, and then I haven't played it on my PC recently. But I've downloaded it on my PS5 a bunch of times, or PS5, my PS4 a bunch of times. But I can't get back into it because I've gotten so far in the PC version that it's just like I don't want to put all that work back in to try to get where I was. So it's kind of painful in that respect, but I want to get back into it because I want to play it where it's like there's a lot of spaces where nothing's going on and I'm forced to travel, and I fucking hate that shit. I wish I could just fast travel to wherever the fuck I needed to be. Traveling's fine for like the first like hour or two, but it's like it's gotten to the point where it's like I don't want to keep riding my fucking horse across the same desert 15 different times. To get something that I need to get to advance further into the story. Like, just let me get there, do what I need to do. Like, people, I was watching a different, I wouldn't really consider it a podcast, but it's like, I guess it's like a news show or whatever called Fan Bites, which I'd never seen them before. But I saw that they were talking Death Stranding, and they made interesting comparisons to exploration in the open world, and they compared it a lot to Breath of the Wild, which I haven't played, but I've heard that as far as open world like traveling is like basically changed the fucking game as far as like traversing and stuff like that, and they were making a lot of comparisons to that kind of gameplay, so I'm interested to see where it comes as far as that's concerned. I don't know. I'm interested.
We keep freezing Zach.
So far, it's got me hooked. I don't know how, but it did because I'm super excited to see it. Motion capturing. What?
Oh, sorry. You keep freezing on my end.
Oh fuck! Damn.
So you keep freezing on my end.
Am I still freezing?
Like, chopping in and out a little bit.
Fuck. My bad.
Yeah, and a little bit laggy too. No, you're good. It could be my end. Who knows?
Is it better now? What is going on? It's
still
probably my end. It's new internet. It's not the best, but
yeah, I'm intrigued because it's Kojima, so I'm
not that low. Oh, is it?
I think it's still laggy a little bit.
Damn. All right, let me see. Is that any better?
It looks. I mean, in terms of audio better. I can't see. I don't see any lag because your picture's gone. So that's why it works.
Yeah, I took the picture out. I don't know.
All right, hold on. Let me see if I take mine off too. If that works.
I would hate to have to do that, but might be the only way I can do it for right now.
All right, we'll do this for now.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, yeah, I mean, interested because it's Kojima.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's one of those things where, again, the trailer didn't really show much. It showed gameplay finally, but in terms of actually, there's a lot of running around and spinning the camera around his face, and then like building a ladder.
As far as actual gameplay, there's not a whole lot to it. I mean, they showed a little bit of combat and they showed a little bit of gunplay, but I mean, other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot to it besides the actual like running around.
Yeah, if the game is going to be Norman Reedus running around America and then potentially being attacked by cars of people that you have to steal their motorcycles from, and you punch them in the face, because if you shoot them, maybe they become like Death Stranding. Maybe they're ghosts or whatever. I don't fucking know. I don't. It doesn't appeal to me. I'm interested because it's Kojima and he is a really great, fun storyteller of convoluted stories. But in terms of like actually like the game itself, I'm not too impressed with what I've seen. I need to see more probably. So that's where I'm at. But I want to ask you this: Pokemon Sword and Shield. Go ahead and segue real fast into that. We talked about that a few minutes yesterday through text.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. How do you feel about the new Pokemon stuff?
I want to switch.
Yeah.
It looks really fucking fun. I like the kaiju battle Pokemon shit. I think that's like, I mean, I just fucking watch Godzilla. I'm a huge kaiju guy. The fact that I can make my Pokemon a goddamn like kaiju ass Raichu is like amazing to me. I think it's a really cool concept.
Uh-oh. I think you're lagging again.
It's interesting to me that they're going down the I mean, Pokemon's always been multiplayer. Is it better now?
Yeah, you're good now, I think.
It might be because I have too much shit open. But I mean, Pokemon's always been a multiplayer centric game, so I mean, I'm not too surprised by that. But I'm definitely, I mean, as far as the raid battles and stuff like that, it's an interesting dynamic that they're taking it down as far as making that kind of stuff more like central to like the gameplay, where it's like they said there's only like for some parts there's only certain Pokemon that you can get by like doing like raid battles. So it's interesting that they're going down that route of the more like MMO type of stuff, instead of it being just like multiplayer in the sense of like training and battling. Now it's like you're actually like teaming up and taking down like boss monsters and that kind of thing. So that's interesting.
Yeah. I like the trailer a lot. I think the legendary Pokemon look kind of cool.
I dig. I don't like the shield one, but the sword one looks awesome because it reminds me. I kept seeing this comparison a lot, but I mean, it is a fair one where it looked like that boss from Dark Souls. That there's like a wolf or something that runs around with the sword.
Every comment on the video, every comment says the exact same thing.
Yeah,
on YouTube. Yeah, I like the way they look. I think it's cool. It makes them smaller. More reminds me of Gold and Silver.
Legendaries for sure. It reminds me of Entei and Suicune and Raikou, like that kind of size.
Exactly. It reminds me of that. I think the game itself looks really good. The gameplay does in terms of like the overworld, the maps, the running around,
I love the overworld. I think that's because I think that's something that happens in in Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu, where it's like the overworld, where it's like not just random. Apparently in this one there's still random encounters in grass, but there's also like in Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu there was the overworld where it's like you just saw the Pokemon, so if you wanted to catch that Pokemon, you just run into it. You didn't have to like guess whatever it was. So I like that they're bringing it in there. It's making it more like real life Pokemon, because in real life you would it's not like you're not going to see a fucking Rhyhorn like fucking crouching in the grass. So I like that concept of bringing that more of like a realistic actual Pokemon world into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I regret partially getting
Trading
rid of my Switch. Yeah, but then again, I know that I will have more fun with my PS4 again. The games I want to finish, whether that's Yakuza, God of War, Spider-Man, obviously. I've never been a Pokemon guy.
Yeah,
I played the first 3 generations as a kid. After that, I didn't really care. Last one I played, I mentioned to you yesterday through text, was I played Gold and Sapphire, and that's it. And from there, I kind of stopped. All the rest of my friends,
Soul Silver, I think, which was like I told you through text, was like freshman year of high school was like the last time I played one. So
right, and I just never cared since then. I dip in and out, look at how they look. That looks cool. That looks cool, but it's never really been worth buying a 3DS or whatever just for that game. But this looks kind of cool, and that's the problem I had with the Switch too. Is why I sold it, because one, I wanted a PS4, but two, there just weren't releasing enough things I wanted on it. I bought Final Fantasy VII on it, and that's not even a Switch game.
Yeah,
and that's sad. So I had to get rid of it. But did you see the Wonder Woman 84 poster?
I saw it. Yeah, and I saw it, and I went over to my buddy, and I was like, I got good news and bad news, and he was like, well, what's the bad news? And I was like, Warner Brothers says they're not doing Comic-Con. He's like, I don't care. And I was like, yeah, it's whatever. He was like, well, what's the good news? And I was like, well, they released a poster for Wonder Woman. I like her armor in it. I think the poster is fucking ugly.
I think the poster is...
They're trying too hard to be like... It reminded me too much of them trying to do like a Thor Ragnarok thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bright-ass colors and shit. It just... it made me like... I don't know. It's like vomit out of my eyes. I just did not like it. Personally.
Yeah, I even think the armor looks kind of dumb.
I don't mind the armor, honestly. It was just too much colors, and it's just like, I don't know.
Maybe once I see the armor in its actual colors, I'll like it more. But the poster's fine, I guess. I mean, it looks like a bad flamingo.
Yeah, it looks like a bad looks like somebody like slaughtered a peacock and like sprayed it like all across the screen. Like it, I don't know. It doesn't look good to me, but.
Well, speaking of DC Comics, Swamp Thing was canceled after one episode.
Yeah, that made me sad because, I don't have DC Universe because I don't have enough money to have that many streaming services. But I'd seen everybody saying that they liked it, and I mean, Swamp Thing's a cool character.
Great character.
So that was kind of upsetting to me that I heard that. But, I mean, I also I'm probably part of the reason that it got canceled because I didn't watch it. But
even then, one episode did get canceled. It's kind of
it's strange.
That means that there's problems
going into it, because it was like going into it. It was, I remember a couple months ago where it was like apparently there were rumors that it like had gotten canceled like right after they finished filming, like they weren't even going to air like the first season like at all, and then like the director had to squat, and like Warner Brothers had to come in and like squash those rumors and be like, no, like we're still releasing it and all this stuff. And then there was things that they'd like short the season down, and they were like, no, that's not true. And so it's like, I don't know. There's been a lot of like weird shit surrounding this show.
Well, it's never a good sign when the studio cuts a movie or cuts a show or whatever after one episode. That I heard did pretty well view wise for a service. I could be wrong.
It was pretty. I mean, it doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but I mean, the critics, everybody who watched it critically, had really liked it and enjoyed it. So,
well, piggybacking off of that DC stuff into the other DC stuff, there's a rumor going around. Bleeding Cool did an article, and I don't read Bleeding Cool, but they're a website that people seem to trust to an extent because they have sources and everything. The rumor is going around that Vertigo is shutting down.
Okay.
Which is a problem because, well, I mean, if no one's reading Vertigo, then that's, hey, welcome to America, welcome to capitalism. Then you cut the books out. They've canceled Constantine and Hellblazer multiple times already. There's not even a Hellblazer book right now, so I get it. No one's buying it. Vertigo, it's sad because that was the last bastion for DC books to do Image stuff. Vertigo gave us a lot of great books. Name some right now. Got Why Last Man, Sandman.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Scalp was a Vertigo book.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure Scalp was a Vertigo book. I could be wrong, but maybe it was an Image book. I think Scalp does a Vertigo book.
It is Lucifer, and everybody loves that shit. So
yeah, Scalp's a Vertigo book. That's Jason Aaron. So that's a Marvel guy right there who wrote for Vertigo. Obviously the big ones I just mentioned. You have great books that came from Vertigo, and I think it's sad maybe because they aren't pushing any books out there anymore. Who knows? I mean, I honestly don't know what their even current lineup is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either.
Because I don't really read everything I'm reading is Image.
So it's like, all that shit.
Yeah, everything I'm reading now is from Image or Boom or fucking even Dynamite. I'm reading more Dynamite stuff, which is sad. But so there's that. Star Wars Fallen Order cover that came out. Look whatever.
Yeah, I saw that. It looks fine. I don't know. I still don't know how to feel about it.
Well, I want to skip a couple of these things. MCU Phase 4 to be revealed at D23. We're not surprised about that.
No.
Digimon Survive, that's whatever. Uncharted of Tom Holland comes out 2020. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Did you see the Kristian Harloff?
I'm so glad you put this in the news. I watched the entire clip yesterday. What a fucking entitled piece of shit.
All right, so guys, Kristian Harloff from Collider. Collider Movie Talk, Collider Jedi Council, Schmoes No, movie trivia Schmodown, and Schmoes No from before when they were good, and then also from AMC Movie Talk back in the day with John Campea, all those guys, John Schnepp, all those guys. Okay, for those who don't know, it's been a big thing in the movie nerd world now. Kristian Harloff on their morning podcast. Collider Live
radio show now, which I didn't know.
Yeah, on their he's a guest on a radio show pretty often. Him and Mark Ellis used to be. I used to be a big fan of this guy.
Yeah,
a big fan of him and Mark Ellis. The Schmoes No, I used to watch every week. Schmoes No podcast.
I used to watch a lot too. Yeah,
specifically Phase 3, Phase 4, I believe. Phase 2, they call them phases. Big fan of that podcast back in the days. A bunch of bros hanging out. Chicks there too, obviously. He's hanging out, talking about movies. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
AMC Movie Talk was more of the professional route. That's fine. They're still there. They get bought up by Collider or whatever the fuck happens. They join Collider.
Yeah.
And from then downhill, in my opinion, just really bad quality. They neglect the Schmoes No channel. The Schmoes No live podcast goes down the hill. The show goes away. It's all movie trivia stuff.
Yeah.
And now Jedi Councils, they're pretty much the big... Even then, it's pretty much a bunch of fucking shills for Star Wars. It's been that way for a long time. And then this comment happens in reference to Galaxy's Edge, how Kristian Harloff is complaining that he didn't get the invite to go to Galaxy's Edge. And he says, I've been busting my ass as a Star Wars fan for 5 years. And Zach, I wanted to ask you how you felt about the comments. How do you feel about the fan entitlement that this guy is spewing?
Well, the thing that makes me the most upset about it is because, first of all, I think it comes off as he's just a super entitled asshole. I mean, the argument with his producer should not have gotten in his ear and try to argue with him on air. But
I love that part. I ate that shit up. That part's so fucking much.
Good, but his producer should not have done that. But it was so fucking funny to watch. Did you actually watch? Red Letter Media actually did a video where they had watch it.
Yeah. Yes. Hold on, real quick. There's a clip someone edited where they added in, they cut parts of the Nerd Crew sketches that they want to call them.
Oh yeah.
And they added in Kristian Harloff's bit to it. It's so fucking funny. No, I saw the comments. I even saw Rocco from Mega 64 tweeted about it.
Oh, he did?
He just tweeted, "I've been busting my ass as a Star Wars fan for 5 years." But
oh my god! First of all, it's from a fan standpoint, it's just such an entitled piece of shit thing to say. That's like, you're gonna go and complain on air because you didn't get invited to a Disney theme park, where it's like, you're one of the people that goes to every single fucking premiere. And then he had that line where he's like, I've been being called a shill even though I'm not a shill. And I'm like, you're a fucking shill. Like, don't even play with me right now. You do Jedi Council, which is literally, there's not even enough Star Wars news for you to be doing this fucking show, but you still do this show. What do they do it, like every week or some shit?
Yeah,
I don't even know how to do it.
Every week, yeah.
Yeah. But
I don't
know. The thing that makes me the most upset is just from the professional standpoint, where he's like, I'm not going to talk about it because I didn't get to watch it, even though my coworkers went and they were able to do it and they have good insights. I'm not going to do it because fuck them, because I want to be able to talk about it through my own experience. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Like, your coworkers went, as a business person, as a fucking professional, have them on the show, talk about what they fucking experienced.
And then he goes, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to go and enjoy it as a fan. I'm not going to talk about it on the show. And then the producer goes, yeah, but you are. Oh my God.
It made me laugh.
You just look at everyone, you look at everybody else in the room, start to coil inward to try not be there.
I don't know who he is, but he was the other guy in the room with him.
Josh McCouga.
I hate him the most of all. Like, every time I see him in Collider, he always makes me mad because he has like the dumbest fucking opinions. And I knew whatever Kristian said was going to make me upset, because he looked at Kristian, he's like, I don't agree with you on a lot of things, but I agree with you on this. And I was like, all right, well, here we fucking go.
And this is something that I don't know because I'm not a shill. I don't ever feel entitled. This was actually a topic I wanted to mention last podcast that we did, or we were going to do, in reference to the
Sonic stuff.
Sonic, the fan petitions, the Sonic team agreeing to change the look of Sonic because of the fan outrage, and then stuff like Chuck
shit, where it's like, if Game of Thrones ended, then you had those fan petitions, people wanting to remake an entire seasons of Game of Thrones.
That stuff like Chuck Wendig was an author who got fired off of Star Wars, I believe, to do books or whatever, complaining about entitlement and fans who are entitled. And I wanted to ask you, this is something similar. Excuse me. No, this is a guy who's clearly been paid by Disney to cover events, to say things good about it. Now, there's no evidence of this. There's no money effects. I'm not saying this is in a legal matter. Yeah. But in terms of, from what you said, what this dude said on air, and the entitlement factor that he is oozing from his voice, you're shilly. That's the Shillsville. They used to call their Facebook group Schmoville. It's Shillsville. This is what it is. All right. Like, we're fans of shit. Yeah. That's our decision to be fans of shit, to act like we deserve something out of it. Now, I want to ask you, Zach,
to be able to be invited to this amusement park because you host a fucking internet radio show. Like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah. And I want to ask you this, Zach, but speaking of Kristian Harloff's comments and the Sonic stuff and the Game of Thrones stuff, and even Star Wars stuff in terms of with the reaction to the prequel trilogy, at what point do we, as fans of properties, where does that cut off at? When should we have power as fans to push those people into redoing something? The fan petitions. Do you look at them how do you look at these fan petitions? Do you think they're stupid? Do you think they're smart? What do you think about all that outrage in terms of fandom fighting back to the people who make the stuff?
So I think one of the biggest things about it is that I think it's important for the fans to have a voice. I think the petitions are stupid. I think trying to change things after the fact is wrong, and it's not something that should happen. I think it comes to a similar thing where it's like, if you look at something like Godzilla is a great example, or something like Star Wars, hopefully with Episode 9, where it's you're not trying to change something that's already happened, because I mean that's just stupid, because it's like the people made what they're going to make. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and we can hate Star Wars Episode 8 all day, but at the end of the day, it's the movie that Rian Johnson made, and I mean we just hate it, and that it is what it is. I'd never ask him to remake fucking Episode 8, because first of all, I don't think he'd do a good enough job even remaking it. But I think a lot of our power as fans should be in not in trying to get stuff remade, but if we really want to see changes, is having our opinion voiced as to what we want going forward, which, going back to Godzilla, I think is a big thing that a lot of people saw, whereas a lot of people saw the first Godzilla 2014 and they said, I want more giant monster battles. And I think that's a positive voice that was heard, and that I think was heard by the creators and the directors. And I think going forward, there's something that they were like, okay, clearly people want more monster battles, so we should put more monster battles in and give the fans what they want. I think that's an appropriate use of using your fandom and the voice of a fandom to create some sort of change into what you want to see, and not having complete control, but giving your opinion and having your voice heard to the creators of what you actually want to see and what would make you happy as a fan. Now, as far as getting into shit and like petitioning that they should remake this certain thing, or this design looks dumb, or I don't like the way this ended, like, it's stupid. And I think it's a waste of our time, and I think it's a waste of creators' time and all that kind of stuff. And it really is a disservice to like people who, like, even if you don't like the stuff, I mean, there are people who like fucking put in like, 40-hour, 50-hour work weeks to like make this kind of shit, and it's kind of a spit in the face to what they created, to be like, hey, I don't like what you did, remake it from scratch.
Yeah, I agree a lot with that. I do think that fan petitions on a usually, I think, now, okay, let me say this. If you really want them to redo Last Jedi,
yeah,
you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Now, if you think that the petition's a metaphor for how much people disliked it, I'm fine with that, because it's a visual number statistical thing that says, hey, we are the people that buy your product, and we did not like the product. Now, as someone who, and I went to art school. I remember doing art stuff and having to have my stuff critiqued. As someone who works like yourself, who worked in the news business, you're always critiqued.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. We're fans of stuff. We're okay. We're allowed to say something that we don't like something, or if we don't think it's something great. That's the whole point of freedom of speech. The whole point of having an open forum.
Yeah.
Our voices don't have to matter. My voice does not matter. Me saying that I think that Last Jedi sucks dick should not matter. It's just a voice, my personal opinion. And I don't think that they should go change Last Jedi, even though it's a shit movie.
Yeah.
They made a movie. It's fine. It's not for me. It's not for me. No big deal. I did not like it. Someone else did like it. That's their opinion. That's perfectly fine. I think when you have someone like the Sonic people who are going to remake Sonic, that's a problem. I think responding to the fans, the people who pay for your product, that is important. Yes. Like in games, right? If you're playing like a MMO game or something like that, or a game in general, you put a demo out, you put alpha out. This bug needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed here. This, and this. Beta test that. You alter it, put it out. Better product. Fine. That's perfect. But at the same time, you can't sacrifice your artistic vision for something, even if people don't like it. I think it's a lack of spine a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And I think that the petition stuff, the entitlement, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Again, I do like the petitions in terms of hey, there's 100,000 people said Last Jedi blows.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that, because that's me. If I sign that petition or click the checkbox yes and cap to this, that's just not me saying, yeah, I want you to actually go remake it. That's not me saying that. That's me saying, me and 100,000 people said this movie was bad.
Yeah.
Or this game was bad, or whatever.
And we don't want to like this in the future.
Exactly. And if you do make it in the future, that's perfectly fine. I just won't buy the product.
Yeah.
You know, I walked out of Solo. I thought Solo sucked. I walked out of it, you know?
Yeah, I think coming from that aspect, I could see that more as a metaphor or as a visualization of, exactly how many people are upset with it. Because I think a lot of times that feeds into a lot of times where it's like, if you go on Twitter and you have Twitter mobs and stuff like that. And I think a lot of times social media is a problem where it's like, complaints end up being a small minority of people, but there are people who speak really, really loudly. And so it seems larger than it is. But I think if you have something as a petition like that, it's not seen as it can't be seen as a minority if you have like a million people or something signing on saying the Last Jedi movie sucks and we don't want to see anything like this in the future. I think it gives a nice representation, and so people can't easily brush it off as like, oh, that's just a vocal minority or something like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and you tie back into Kristian Harloff that the entitlement is real.
Yeah.
And when you think that you deserve something because you like something, that's a problem.
Yeah.
No, we talk about, again, Last Jedi. We talk about Star Wars. We talk about the Marvel stuff. We talk about all these things that we like because we like them.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Marvel shirt right now. Hell, I like the I like the stuff.
Yeah.
When we complain about it or we talk about it or debate about it or whatever, it doesn't mean that we think that, like, look, I think the Endgame scene with the fucking ladies is so fucking stupid. I think that fucking scene is so fucking bad.
Yeah.
And really pulls me out of that scene. I think it's so shitty.
Yeah.
And I was even thinking about it when I was walking to the bathroom yesterday from work. I was just walking through a hallway. I was like thinking about that scene and go, you know what? That scene would be way better if instead of saying it, they just did it.
Yeah.
If Captain Marvel wasn't like, oh, how you can get there? Oh, she has help. They just did it.
Yeah.
They just did it. Like every other before that movie where they were just tossing it to the other characters. And it worked fine. If you just did it, it wouldn't have been an issue. But then cool. These characters are working together. It's my same problem with Infinity War. That scene with the women was so forced. It was a badly written scene and stupid. If you just did it, it wouldn't have mattered. But you're making a point, and that's why it looks bad.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to ask you to change it.
Yeah.
Because was it matter? I still like the movie. I still like the thing. I mean, I think that part's really stupid and bad and badly written, but it's fine. But I don't expect to be as a Star Wars fan who has books on my bookshelf or whatever the fuck, or as a Back to the Future fan with Back to the Future tattoo on my arm. I'm not gonna be like, oh well, if you ever remake Back to the Future, you need to. I won't petition it. Who fucking cares? I don't think you should remake it, but at the same time, that's just a fan opinion. That you have to, there's a balance between taking it into account and not taking it into account, but at the same time, maybe not redo Sonic, even though we think Sonic looks fucking stupid.
He does look really fucking stupid.
I don't know, man. It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It's super strange. It's a weird time we live in. Just as a society in general, where with social media and everything else, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on, and there's I think a lot of growing pains and a lot of aspect of people trying to figure out exactly, what social media is and how should we use it and how exactly is like a positive way to use it instead of like a negative way. And there's a lot of different aspects going on with that right now. And I think we're in the midst of like some really deep growing pains, and hopefully in a couple of years we'll be able to figure out and we can move away from stupid petty shit like this. But
you see it directly. You see it directly in the comic book market, whereas comic book sales are down worse than ever before. Marvel books are down. The highest selling Marvel book is usually Spider-Man, and it's lower than Batman, which is the highest selling DC book by like 10,000 or something.
Yeah.
And they both ship twice a month. Where in the 90s, comic books used to sell 100,000, 120,000 copies a month. Now they sell 80,000. It's a good selling comic book.
Yeah.
So Marvel is seeing the exact, or they're forcing something, and the fans are saying no.
Yeah.
And now that's when you have to come to the question of, do we change our plan because our buyers are saying no, but the vocal minority that work at the business are saying yes, but the majority of the people who buy them are saying no.
You've got the vocal minority of people who work there, and then the movie critics who are saying yes, but then all the fans and the majority of people who buy it say no, or I don't need that. Yeah.
Well, the big example is that there's a Wasp book.
There is
Unstoppable Wasp or whatever. Well, it was canceled after 6 issues, brought back, and then canceled again in the same year because it's a very big SJW book, and fans are saying, "I don't want to read this."
Yeah.
Tom King, who's been writing Batman for the past 3 years, had 100 issues planned for his Batman story. It's a shitty Batman story. It's just Batman being fucking sad and depressed and beat up and whiny and all this bullshit, which is not what Batman is.
Yeah.
So DC pulled him off the book, and his run ends 15 issues before it's supposed to end because they're selling worse.
Yeah. So
now that's when you have to, as a business, go, okay, shit, the fans are responding with their money or lack of it. I don't know, man. It's rough. It's a rough time, man, and it's a rough situation to be in because at the same time, I don't expect Game of Thrones to redo their season because people don't like it.
Yeah,
you just don't like it. But at the same time, why would I buy what the new people? Why would I buy the Star Wars product that the Game of Thrones people are making if I didn't like the way that they could wrap up a story?
Yeah,
it's that weird thing where you're making the stuff and. I don't know, man. It's rough.
I don't know, but we have that, but then we have the same aspect where it's like we hated Rian Johnson's Last Jedi, but we're both kind of excited for his Knives Out film, so I don't know.
Yeah, because we know he can make those movies well,
That's true.
I don't know, man. It's a tough time, and it's a rock and a hard place for that. And thankfully, all you and I get to do is talk shit about stuff, so that's the best part. So.
That makes our job a lot easier, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up this week's episode?
No, I think we hit most of the big stuff, really. So, yeah, I don't think I really have anything else to really report about.
Cool. Well, guys, we are going to be back on iTunes soon.
Yes.
Back on iTunes, I'm going to try to get the podcast audio on all the other stuff, Spotify, all that jazz. Working on that. We put an audio version out. The audio version will probably be the better version because it's going to be edited.
Yeah.
All that jazz. The video version is just a convenience video version. So if you want to listen to that, I'll put the links in the below. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back next week for the next episode of the License to View podcast. And Zach, what do you guys say, man? What's the goodbye? What's the sign out?
Guys, just have a great weekend at the movies.
There you go. Hey, is that a Malton thing?
That's something else. What is that else?
Is that a Roger Ebert thing?
No, God, what was that? Oh God, that's from Lights, Camera, Barstool.
Oh God.
Guys, just have a good weekend at the box office.
Okay. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, guys, see ya.